Welcome back to the second episode of Chief of Self. Wow. Thank you so much for hyping me up last week. It felt so good to know that people are listening, that you guys are enjoying it, that you're giggling. I got so many texts from friends that were like, oh my God, I don't wear underwear while I work out. Am I a sociopath? And just everyone chiming in on the controversy. But anyways, I am so giddy to be back with an episode that feels and a topic that feels very near and dear to my heart. And we will get into it. But first, a little just kind of recap of my week. It is finally feeling like fall in Los Angeles. Thank God. It was pouring rain the other day, and I felt so snuggly, very unmotivated, I will say. So anytime I'm like, I can live in the Pacific Northwest, I could live in the cozy weather, I just wanted to snuggle up like a little burrito in my unhide blankie and just sit there for the whole day. But alas, I did get my tuchus up and was productive. But I just love the crispness in the air. That moment you walk out the door and it stopped raining and then there was like a little peak of sunshine. Bliss, okay? I'm pulling out all the sweaters. I think I'm very close to having the first UGG of the season. That is like one of my favorite things of the year, is the first time I dust off my little mini Uggs and I slip them onto my feet, and it's the first UGG of the season. It's in my very, very near future. We are currently also redoing our backyard. So when we first moved in, we got kind of just cheap furniture, which I'm glad we did because they got completely destroyed. One, because of the fires, but then also because we have this tree that is a mulberry tree, and it just plops down purple gunk all over the backyard. And obviously we did not know about this because we've only lived here for a year. It happened over springtime, completely ruined all the furniture. We did not have furniture covers. Now I've learned, okay? So we are using an interior designer, which is one of we'll get into it, abundance things in my life that I am striving for. But we hired someone to help us because although I have very good taste, I am not as much a visionary. Like, I need to see it done, in the mock-up and whatever. Like, I need to be able to see it rather than seeing a blank space and then knowing exactly what needs to go in there, if that makes sense. So in that regard, I can like give you the mood board, but then I need someone to execute it and actually find the pieces that work. So we're working right now with an interior designer, and it's so fun because we get to, buy all new stuff, which is always a delightful thing. And it just, as a homeowner, you're just slowly chipping away and adding new things to the home and renovating and updating. And so it's this like never-ending project, which is both kind of scary, but then also really fulfilling when you love interiors as much as I do. Let's get into things worth sharing. Guys, okay, first of all, I just want to say that I have been in such a strange romance novel slump, or just reading slump in general. Like, things have been good. Like, there's cute books that I like, and I, will read them quickly. But there hasn't been a book that I am still thinking about days later, that I feel like I have a book hangover over. But I think I found one, and I'm so giddy to be sharing a recommendation with you because I get sad when I read a book and I'm just like, I don't feel the need to recommend this. But wow, I just read Exit Lane. It's the newest short story book. It's not short stories. It's by 831 Stories. They essentially make very bingeable romance stories. So they're tiny. They're very short. I want to say like 200-ish pages, maybe even less. And this one is about Marin and Teddy. They go on a road trip after college to go to New York. So it's very When Harry Met Sally vibes. The perfect fall romance book. I don't even know if it's like set in the fall, but it feels very fall adjacent. Honestly, it's very heartbreaking, I will say. It will make you kick your feet like a little schoolgirl because it's very steamy. It'll make you cry buckets because it's very sad at times. And it'll just make you swoon. Like the love story is, be still my heart. Your heart is just so tender with it. So that is definitely something I'm recommending to you all if you're looking for a book, if you're looking for a romance novel, if you want to if you've never read a romance novel, this honestly would be an amazing introduction because the writing is also incredible. It's not just about the sex scenes, even though those are pretty phenomenal, I will say, but the writing and the prose and the storytelling was equally as good, which to me, that is the formula for a perfect romance novel. Oh, also, I just want to say, I'm going to just speak it into existence because that's just how I live my life. And I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm a gray manifester, okay? When I speak something into the world, it comes to fruition. I don't know if it's the perfect blend of magnetism, but then also me going after things like starting a podcast. I was like, oh, I want to start one. I want to start a solo one. Did it, doing it, so this is something I want to put out into the world. I will one day write a romance novel, and I would love to do it under 831 Stories. They tap people who are not necessarily authors, or that's like not their occupation, if you will. And so I think it would be the perfect structure in order to write a romance novel. I know. Behind the scenes, my sister and Lauren always text me. They're like, you're going to write a romance novel one day. And I have never written anything in my life. I don't think I've even written like a short story, but I never have written fiction. That's for sure. But I just feel like I could do it. I don't know. I've read so many that I know the formula. I know what to look for. I just feel like there is a story in me. And one premise, or maybe I shouldn't say it, but whatever. One premise I've been thinking, and I have some written in my notes app of like different premises, is because I've never read anything about this. And if I have read Jewish romance stories, they're so cringy and corny, but a Jewish romance story about Jewish sleepaway camp, because that's such a specific memory and time in your life and a specific circumstance that no one has really been able to capture in fiction, at least that I've read. And I think that would be like the perfect backdrop to a romance novel. So 831 Stories, if you're listening, maybe we should talk. Okay, let's get into the deep dive, the topic at hand. That is, you do not need to be rich to feel abundant. I have learned that abundance isn't about money. It's actually a feeling. I thought about this time and time again because I actually did the money challenge with To Be Magnetic. If you don't know about To Be Magnetic, I'm probably going to reference it many a time in this podcast, but it's essentially Lacey Phillips's work where she basically teaches you how to manifest, and they have a whole, you just have to subscribe to the program, but basically they have little workshops. So how to manifest, inner child unblocking, and like shadow work, all these things that help you become the best version of yourself and manifest. Every year they do a challenge. Twice a year actually, they do a challenge, one at the end of the year, one in the middle. And this year was Manifest Money, and it was the money challenge, and it came at the perfect time because I was planning for my wedding and there were a lot of expenses coming up. So I was like, okay, let's do this money challenge, just like get really, really into it with finances. But what I took from the challenge was it's not necessarily about the monetary value. It's about the feeling of abundance. And so I realized that there are so many ways to feel abundant that don't have to do with money and don't have to do with actually buying things. I think that we fall into this trap of waiting until we make it in order to feel abundant, right? Oh, when I have the house. Oh, when I have the career, when I sell my company. Oh, like when I just have a windfall of money, like that's when I will feel this sensation of abundance. The moment I realized that abundance is something you create and not something you buy was actually during my wedding. Now, yes, the wedding was very expensive. Yes, of course, I recognize that. If you took away all the costs and you just you stripped down the feeling of the wedding, I felt this sense of abundance like I've never felt before. Like presence, this beaming joy. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than joy, like a beam of light coming from my heart and just shooting out into everyone. Like, that's how the wedding felt, this radiating energy and this joy, abundance of love, abundance of family and connection. And it could also just be something as simple as, anytime I go to a bookstore and I have nothing on the calendar after, I have nowhere to be, I just have this abundance of time, abundance of like curiosity, and I'm just wandering around the bookstore, like that is abundance. Also, that is free, right? So whenever I'm sitting around a dinner table with friends and our phones are away, I feel so abundant again of connection, abundant of stories, of memories. Like there is this like higher vibration that I start to feel when I'm in those scenarios. And again, it doesn't have to be going to a fancy restaurant. It could be going on a picnic with your friends, right? These things that don't require money, or they're not even about the money aspect. It's the feeling underneath it. If you start to layer out the monetary value of it, you just start to see that abundance is, at least how I define it, presence, gratitude for what you currently have. That's a huge one, because we forget how beautiful and how amazing our lives are, because when you think of abundance, you think of it as wanting more stuff, where it's like, no, I can feel abundant now in all the beautiful either material things I have, but all the beautiful loving relationships I have. And I don't know, it's so much deeper than material things. To me, I see the monetary stuff and the material things and things you can buy as separate. Like, yes, those are abundant things, totally. But I think I see them as separate. I view that piece as my rich life, as Ramit Sethi would say. And my rich life, so things that when I have abundant money, so let's say, just fuck you money where I don't even know what to do with the money, which that time will come, guys. It's on its way. But for me, my rich life is flying first class anywhere I go without even thinking about it. Hiring my dream interior designer to do my entire home. So Amber Interiors is like one of my, oh my God, I have every one of her books. And every time I go into a shop, Amber Interiors store here in Los Angeles, it's my highest self. Like I just drool all over the furniture and everything that she does. So having her basically interior design my home, that would be my rich life. And then becoming an investor in female founded companies. So I'm going to just tell a little story. I went to this brand event last week that was at the co-founder of Equinox's house in Malibu. I walk into this house and I'm like, whoo, I'm feeling the expander energy. I look around and I'm like, oh, this is what I desire. This is what I desire. The home is spectacular, as you can imagine. And the woman herself, the co-founder of Equinox, was this grounded, joyful. I actually don't think she works with Equinox anymore. She now has this separate company that's all about joy and infusing joy into your life, which, holy shit, like I want that job. She's an investor and she was basically hosting this event for a company that she invested in. And I saw my future. I literally was like, this is my future. I want to live in a unbelievable dream house in Malibu. Huge, gorgeous, stunning. And I want to host events for the brands that I invest in. And I want to help female founded companies. And I want to share that wealth that way. So that's my rich life. So that is what I see for my future. But an exercise that I like to do in the present is identify the feelings behind each of those things. So let's go through one by one what I just said. Flying first class, what's the feeling? Comfort, right? I want to feel comfort. And so how do I do that now? As I said, I get cozy in my unhide blankie, right? I just get so cozy and comfortable all the time. Slowing down my mornings and giving myself space, that feels comfortable to me. Treating myself to a massage, that's also comfort, right? There's just different little layers that it doesn't have to be flying first class, right? It doesn't have to be this huge things. It can be these just micro ways to insert comfort into your life. Okay, the second one about the interior designer, what that feeling is admiring beauty and luxury. That's also part of my authentic code. If you're in the To Be Magnetic universe, then you know what that is. But luxury and aesthetics and beauty is definitely one of my pillars, my brand pillars, if you will. So some ways that I do that now is like really being grateful for all the furniture and beauty that I have already. Like, yes, it might not be the most expensive pieces of furniture or the most luxurious, but it looks so cohesive and it looks so good when I walk around and I really take in my surroundings. Other ways I can do this is going to hotels that I love, like aesthetic hotels, and really feeling the design and feeling it. Or I am a member at Soho House in Malibu, and something about that space is so magical to me. Obviously, it's right on the ocean, so there you go. But the decor and the space and the environment. So I always try to put myself into just very beautiful spaces and environments. That's why I love discovering new restaurants and seeing the interiors of it and the aesthetic. Like that's just what I love. So another one, of course, nature. Hello. That's like the freest luxury there is. Just standing outside and being in awe. That is also a huge feeling that is related to abundance, is like where your breath is caught and you are just staring into the ocean. You're like, how the fuck does it go that far? Like, it's so crazy. And you start to feel so small and you're like, oh my God, the world is so beautiful and big and just, awe-inspiring. Okay, the last one is like being an investor later on. The feeling of that is being a leader and being powerful, right? I want that feeling of, oh, I get to influence this person's life and business. Like I get to give that gift. So there's this like power to it. And so today, obviously, I can show up as a leader at Camber. I can show up as being an amazing leader and mentor for the people that we're about to hire. And I can exhibit that energy today. Again, to kind of summarize, the best way to tap into abundance now without the funds is to practice those everyday experiences and feelings and identify what those are for you. So I have a list in my notes app. You guys know I'm a notes app list maker, and I'm just gonna rattle off some things. I call this my inexpensive abundance menu, and I implore you to title it the same. And so anytime I feel like I'm in this lack mindset, or I just feel like, I haven't made it. I can't be abundant yet because I haven't made it. Go back to this list, choose one thing from the list and commit to doing that day, that week, whatever. I love to insert abundance all day, every day, but you do you. Number one, let yourself linger in the morning. I mentioned that before. I just think that slow mornings are just such a luxury to me, and it just signals to my brain that I deserve to slow down. And that's not something that a lot of us, I feel like, give ourselves the gift of. Putting your phone away and reading. I mentioned this in the first episode. I just think that being absorbed in a book is, it's not free because you have to buy the book, but you could also get it on Libby. It's free, and it's this abundance of time, of wonder, of story, that you get to be wrapped up in. All right, next one, make your favorite drinky drink. I always have to have a drinky drink with me at all times, which is very difficult because I'm trying not to drink so much caffeine. So I'm trying to find like caffeine-free alternatives. So, and I'm like, tea doesn't really hit as hard, but I'm a huge matcha girl. So I'm always having a matcha. When I make the matcha, it's this little ritual for myself. And I just feel so like making this little matcha for myself. I maybe put on some Taylor Swift, maybe shake my booty while I'm making it and stirring it up. And it becomes this, again, little abundant moment that you could do every day. A walk with your favorite podcast on. This is self-explanatory. Walking obviously feels like the most abundant thing you could do. Movement, getting that stagnant energy out, and then pairing it with a podcast that either inspires you, that makes you laugh, that energizes you. There is nothing better. Like, oh my God, I could walk for hours listening to my favorite podcasts. It's one of those little luxuries in life that make me feel abundant, if you will. All right, I mentioned the picnic hang. Again, you do not need to go to a fancy restaurant. You don't need to buy a bunch of things. You could do a potluck. You could do whatever. That's a free way to just gather your friends, put away the phones, maybe make like just a cute little setup, bring a cute blanket, maybe bring books where you guys read for the first 30 minutes together and then you yap for the next. And I don't know, there's just obviously something about being with people that energize you. And when you can identify that, this needs to be a whole separate podcast about whether people energize or drain you. But when you are surrounded by people that energize you, like, oh my God, it's the best feeling in the world. Obviously, go to nature, free beauty. There you are. Farmers market strolls. I just feel like a rich, hot woman when I am walking through a farmer's market. Like, even if I don't buy anything, just knowing that one day, like, this produce is available to me and like this could be where I buy the produce is and just people watching and taking your time and just kind of meandering and slowly walking through the farmer's market, like something about it feels so abundant to me. Solo dance party on a trampoline, I was gonna say that. There's just this energy release that happens. It's a mood booster. Highly recommend browsing the bookstore without an agenda. So again, having this permission to just wander and follow your curiosity. And the last one I love is rewatching a comfort movie. I just feel like nostalgia is so soothing. And again, it's pretty inexpensive. And it just can take you back to this warm, fuzzy feeling that you're trying to emulate. For me, my favorite movie in the entire world is It's Complicated by Nancy Meyers. And I will watch it probably like once a month or so. And it just, I also am rewatching Gilmore Girls right now. And that also, it is fall. So I'm like, this is not revolutionary, but there's something nostalgic. There's something that warms my heart about it. And so kind of going back to those comfort classics for you and having a little list on your phone where you're just like, oh, let me tap back into this like comfort feeling. All right. So those are mine on my inexpensive abundance menu. To close things out, I just want to challenge you to make your own inexpensive abundance menu. Do it in your notes app so that you can just come back to it time and time again. And I really want you to ask yourself, what already feels full in your life? Like, are you full of money? Fabulous. Amazing. Are you abundant in money? Great. Are you abundant in relationships? Are you abundant in love? Are you full of connection? Are you full of comfort? Like, what are things in your life that are already abundant? And take note of those, and really let yourself sit with the feeling of that fullness, right? I love this quote. Abundance is a mindset of enoughness, right? I just think we have it all wrong where we think abundance is something in the future that we don't have. Like it's like somewhere else. It's somewhere later on in life that we get to enjoy it, where it's like, no, it's enoughness and it's now. It's fucking now, you guys. You get to choose to be abundant today. It is not something you have to wait for. It is not something that you get later on in life when you achieve XYZ. Like, this is something you can tap into now. So I really want you to take stock of things in your life that are already so full, and then putting those in a little list on your inexpensive abundance menu that you can tap back into time and time again, and really just explore inserting more abundance into your life every day. Thank you so much for listening. Oh my God, I love you. I love you so much, my dear selfie. And I hope this 30-ish minute voice note filled you up like it did for me. This is always such a reminder to me. Abundance is something I write every day in my journal. I'm abundant. And so it's nice to kind of get more tangible and give examples for you guys about what the fuck does that actually mean? Like, how do you actually feel that? And so I hope this was helpful. I love you. And if you would be so kind as to rate and review the podcast, it really helps. It helps other people find it. And you can follow me at Maddie Mayo. We do have an Instagram for the podcast. It's at Chief of Self Podcast. And we will see you next week.